So it's been a while. I've had my first week of training done, finished, completed. So glad I'm done with that. So yeah, I'm done with training. I'm going to tell you a little bit about training and my first week in working in outdoor foods and everything else that goes with that. Cue intro. Alright, so I've got a lot to cover today. This is going to be kind of random, so try to keep up. First of all, training, you have a lot of different e-learning things that you have to do. Like, I know they're really boring, but you will appreciate them later on. Especially the tablets e-learning, also known as the cash register. Yeah, you're going to want to ace that and do it over and over and over again until you've got it memorized. One of the first things that I remember doing about training, other than e-learning, was how to clean a popcorn wagon. I love popcorn, I had a lot of fun serving the guests, and everything went really well. Fortunately, we had to close that wagon, and that was not so much fun. Other than cleaning that entire thing, like, spotless, you have to use vinegar, which is not fun because then you go home smelling like vinegar. We also learned how to set up wagons, which is a heck of a lot easier than closing wagons because you get a checklist of what you need. Radio calls. You're going to want to memorize the radio calls list. If not, make note of it and keep it in your pocket at all times because I'm still learning the radio calls. They get confusing, but it's very important that you learn how to use your radio calls because you're going to be by yourself at times and you're going to need to know how to use the radio. But do remember what cart you're working at the time because it's kind of stupid asking, what cart am I working at? What cart is this? You also learn where all the different hidden cast member doors are. I suggest you remember where those are because you also look kind of stupid when you're walking around and you have to ask another cast member where the cast doors are. I had to do that and I felt so stupid. Be aware of the different coordinators and the different hierarchy. Be aware and watch people's actions because some people you're going to want to ask stupid questions for. Some people you're going to want to leave completely alone. Managers is under that emergency list of you only ask them something if you absolutely need to and nobody else is helping you. Now I'm going to tell you about some of my experiences with training. Because I'm working at Magic Kingdom and I'm outdoor foods, I'm going to be everywhere all over the park. You already know this. This means that I'm going to have a million different costumes. I have to get there even earlier to figure out where I'm going to be that day so I can go to costuming. Thank God costuming is right next to where my work is and it's not somewhere random on the other side of the Disney lot. The buses. I don't know about you, I drive to work and I'm glad I do because that means I don't have to leave even earlier so I get to sleep in a little more. But on the flip side, I also have to pay for gas, but the bus schedule, it sucks. I live in Vista. From point A to point B takes about 20 minutes, plus getting there early, 10 minutes more. And then on the way back, because it's got to stop at every single complex and every single little stop you can possibly think of, it takes you 45 minutes just to get back home. So when you're exhausted from working all night and all day, and you get on a bus full of people, you might have to stand for 45 minutes after standing all day. I like driving. It works for me. I had more than one trainer. I thought I was only going to have one trainer. I ended up having 30. I liked all of my trainers. There were different things I didn't like about my trainers. Some of them were more experienced than others. Some of them were more serious about training than others. During training, ask as many stupid questions as possible. Alright, so on the week that I had training, I had what I'm calling a midnight shift, which is where I worked from 5 until 2 o'clock in the morning. Which I was actually kind of excited about this because I got to sleep in that day. I was going to get to see the park close, close for the first time. There were lots of things that I liked about the midnight shift. We ended up joining 2 of the training groups together, so I trained with 3 of my other friends that I had just met. We all were running a cart, which was kind of chaotic, kind of fun. We also got to see the electric parade and the fireworks that were where our cart was, so that was also really fun. And overall, it was actually a pretty good day, until we had to close the cart. Ended up closing it at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. That wasn't a lot of fun. I was exhausted. Speaking of working late, a lot of the times we had to close. It took much longer to close the park than planned, so we worked longer than we were supposed to. Well, when you work longer than you're supposed to, you have to get your time approved before you clock out. You have to get, I don't know who you talk to, the coordinators deal with all that. On one hand, I got paid more because I worked more. On the other side, I probably would have rather sleep than getting paid more. One day, that was kind of fun. The only day during training, we got off 20 minutes earlier. But this was a good thing because when we got off, the fireworks were about to start. So as soon as I got my time approved, I clocked out early. I took my costume off, I ran over to Tomorrowland to watch the fireworks, and I got to see the entire Wishes fireworks celebration as soon as I got off work. That's pretty much it with training that I can think of. And when you have days off and you want to go to the parks, ignore the rain, just go to the parks, because it was supposed to rain all day on one of my days off, and I decided to go to the parks with a friend. And it only drizzled like half of the day, and it was nice the rest of the day. Be prepared for rain, because it's probably going to rain. It rains practically every day here. Utilize your days off, because you don't get a whole lot of them. Just have fun, enjoy your days off, stay calm.